the fuck's liking it if there's no one watching? Came out and evidently I fucked up, so sorry about that, guys. Anyways, here to answer anyone's questions. If anyone's got anything that they want covered or need covered, I've got you going for that. Should be snowboard season in about 60 days out here in the Rockies, so not sure about the East Coast, probably more like 100. But yeah. Anyone got any questions? That's what I'm here for. Well, anyways, if you don't have questions, let's dive into some stuff that's going on in snowboarding right now. There's nothing. There's nothing because there's no snow. Actually, there's a few snowboard movies in the pipelines coming down the works from Transworld and Snowboarder Mag. Not sure if Videograss is doing anything. I guess Louif's new video project is supposed to drop this year. It was 2 years in the making. So there's that going on in snowboarding. As far as product review videos go, we're about a quarter of the way back to where we were right before we had our catastrophic failure and lost about 850 gigabytes of footage. So those are out. The new binding reviews, the first round dropped yesterday, all of Kevin's binding reviews. There's about 20 of them, and we should drop about another 20 or so more next Thursday. So if you haven't checked those out, I'll put a link to them down below in the description afterwards. But yeah, got some new brands in there this year, like Bent Metal. We haven't done anything with them in years. Got some of the new Burton stuff in there. We're gonna go through the new K2 stuff, some ride stuff as well, coming up next week. So if anyone's got any questions on bindings, Kevin has you covered on that. Anyone got any gear questions, or are we still having technical difficulties? I think the flight attendant actually was kind of lacking this year. I went out and rode it and was kind of underwhelmed with it, to be honest. It wasn't a snowboard that I was super stoked on. It kind of sucked, to be honest. It was just dead. Yeah. I think there's better boards out there with like that tapered kind of twinish shape to it, surprisingly, from other brands. So yeah, I wasn't too impressed with the flight attendant. But then again, when I ride a POW board, if I'm going to go with a powder twin, I want something that's really freestyle focused and doesn't have like that mild taper to it. Thinking about it, actually, probably the LibTech, is it the cold brew? It's either, yeah, I want to say it's the cold brew was the one that I rode that was like a lot like the flight attendant, but was better. Does that answer your question? Yeah, no worries, man. Hope that helps you out. I know Mike Sears is watching us right now, so shout out to Mike Sears, the box lord himself. Yes, the lumberjack changed, and as you can see, I've got mine back there. It's not a big change to it. The flex pattern is a little bit stiffer in the tips, and they changed the angle of the actual tip kick to it. So where this one is a little more abrupt, they lessened it out, and this part right in here is a little more mellow. So when you put them side by side, you can actually see that it's changed. It really doesn't affect the ride of the board that much, and most people won't notice that. Now, with that said, they did offer the new Woodsman, which is the directional lumberjack, basically. Super set back, pointy tip, more for like spraying your friends and just surfing versus twin freestyle like that one is. So we got that going on. Let's see what else. Shout out to John Cenacorn. He's going to make a lot of appearances in the product review videos. I shot a shit ton of stop motion with him, so you guys will get to see him in the product review videos. And then, let's see what else. Should be about 246 videos when it drops. I'm hoping to have it done sometime between the 15th and 30th of this month. This is fucking weird. I just got to be honest. It's weird talking to my phone and knowing it's live, and I've got my computer right over there just in case. This is, I don't know. This is fucking weird. Is this weird for you guys? I feel this is weird. So, does anyone else have any questions or anything that they want covered? Oh, I'm going to make it so weird, Rob. I'm going to make it, like, awkward weird. It's going to be, like, weirder than your mom walking in on you jerking off to porn weird. That's just kind of how we do things around here. Let's see. What else is going on in snowboarding? I guess some guy lost his lawsuit against Seven Springs. The mercury does not change this year. I know that for a fact. Well, actually, it does. It's got a different name of the fiberglass that it uses, and it's supposed to be like a little bit snappier, I guess, is what they're saying. But by and large, it's not something that most people would even notice. So if you actually look at the Capita catalog, or, well, their website has everything on it right now. You'll see that a lot of stuff will claim new, and it's a new fiberglass to it. Most people aren't even going to notice the fucking difference, to be honest. It's still going to ride. The Mercury is still an amazing board. It's one of my favorite boards in the Capital lineup. I can't speak highly enough of how that thing actually works. So, yeah, if you're looking at a Mercury, don't sweat it. That board fucking still kicks ass. Got that going on. Now, with that said, the new Black Snowboarder Death actually got revamped this year, and I rode that. That is a throwback to how the Black Snowboarder Death used to be. It's not soft anymore. It's like a really hard charging board. So for anyone that's out there wondering about that, Black Snowboarder Death is a little bit more of a throwback to what it used to be versus where it was like that weird twin directional all mountain freestyle, which all mountain freestyle is probably the biggest bullshit title you can put into a board category because it's so broad. To be honest, I stick with my K2s because mine are, I custom build them to what I need. I really don't venture much outside of that. I know that Kevin was super stoked on the bent metal bindings, and after playing around with them and stuff, I'm actually going to go try to take those out in November and see how they ride. They're not like the old bent metal bindings, which if anyone knows what those things were like, they were bear traps for your feet. Basically, they were just pieces of shit. And they've redeveloped the whole line, and they're phenomenal looking. And from what Kevin has told me, they're absolutely amazing. I really want to get Kevin in on one of these live streams where he can just talk about different things with me and we can kind of debate live. I also want to get Marcus in from Ask a Black Snowboarder and do a live Ask a Black Snowboarder so you guys can see how racist we really are to each other. He's my little brother, so I pretty much just beat him up all the time. And but yeah, so bent metal, those are pretty stoked on. I'm really curious to actually try some of the Burton ESTs on a Signal or an Endeavor because they're using the channel as well. So I want to see how they feel on a non-Burton board too, because I do like certain things from Burton. Yeah, they've actually said that they are going to do these, Rob. They're going to come on and join me for some of these just down the road right now. I know Kevin is busy. He just got a new wiener dog, whose name is like Sir Royal Artemis something. Basically, it's Kevin gave his dog too long of a title, and because it takes so long to call his dog's name, he couldn't be here. It's true. True story. And Marcus is actually hustling white people in golf right now. That's another true story. He's a pro golfer and a former pro snowboarder. Kid's pretty much pro at anything he does, but I will get those guys on one of these at some point. So, yeah. I don't know if anyone has checked out the binding reviews yet, but a lot of new stuff in there. It's a lot of stuff we haven't covered in the last year. So definitely check those out on Angrysnowboarder. They're all up there. It'd be awesome of you guys to just check that out. Fill the void until the product reviews for the boards are done, which, like I said, sometime between the 15th and the 30th, I'll get those taken care of. Does anyone else have any questions? Anyone? Bueller? Yeah, so okay, so the new Brewster got fully revamped this year. It's basically a directional twin with a powder pack of inserts to it. It's more designed around being a non-asymmetrical twin, meaning the tail and the nose are different shape. So if you've seen the photos of it or seen the catalog, yeah, there's my Rick Sanchez. Basically, it's got that longer nose to it and everything. That board is fucking phenomenal. It is completely different than last year's. It's still playful, but it's super snappy and it holds an edge really well. It's one of those boards that you can just drive however you want. I'm backing that board super hard, and to go along with that, the board that I also consider to be like a counterpart from another brand would be the GNU Spam. That board and the Brewster, like, I'm torn between which one of those I'm going to buy because they're so good, and they've got that non-asymmetrical twin shape to them. Makes them a little more versatile as an all-mountain freestyle board. It's a board that you can charge a line with, you can hit a rail with, rail a turn, hit some side hits, ride the half pipe if you want to, but still go out, butter, play around with your friends. It's a quiver of one type of board with the Brewster, and the Spam from GNU is the same thing as that. Those two boards I'm going to be backing super hard this year. So if you see one for sale, I would jump on it. Basically, to sum up the Brewster, it's kind of like everything cool with the Wizard stick that they took and threw it into the Brewster to make it just a little more versatile. It's snappy, it's powerful, it's playful. It's one of those boards that you can really drive it and have a lot of fun. But yeah, so those basically the Brewster is that's a board I'm going to be backing hard for all mountain freestyle. Like, the versatility in it is phenomenal, and the GNU Spam, just a different camber profile, magna traction on it, bunch of the Mervin construction in it. That's just another board that I feel those two just sit in a category perfectly. So yeah, that's what I got to say about the DWD Brewster. And cat's out the bag, I'm also backing a GNU board, which it's been almost 10 years since we've had any reviews from Mervin, and we got, I think, 24 or 28 boards from him this year that'll be in the product review series. So yeah, got that going on. Anyways, one other thing I wanted to tell you guys about, since my videos aren't up, be sure to check out Snowboard Pro Camp and boardarchive.com, because they've got some great videos on some of the boards we'll be reviewing. I back those guys 110% with their mission and how they're talking about different products. So yeah, that'll fill the void until I drop that like 245, 47 product review videos. Okay, so what's changed at Mervin? Well, Dan McNamara is one of their marketing guys, and I've known Dan Mac for years. He's a personal friend of a really good friend of mine, and so we have ties back to Western New York, where I'm from. And I remember when he was working at Weekend Snowboards and Bond Outerwear, you know, I was always down to work with them. And so he was just like, make it happen. And then the new Mervin rep for the Rockies, Matt Olson, great dude, was just like, fuck yeah, man, I know people watch your reviews or read your reviews and shit. I know you can influence people, so let's get you as much product as we can. And he was just willing to work with me. So I even got to ride some of the weird shapes. I got some Zoids, the Gnurus, a lot of the asymmetrical, the GNU OG Carver, a lot of Libtex, the Travis Rice, TRS, Hot Knife, Swiss Knife, the GNU Mueller. So shitload of Mervin boards coming out in the product review series. And then let's see what else. I want to give a shout out to Pete from IPP, Interior Plane Project. For all you twin board guys that love camber, these boards are the shit. Basically the Sin Eater collection, fucking amazing. The irony in the graphic about how consumerism is killing people shouldn't be lost on you with that. It's amazing. And I love these boards. I've had the Bloodlines collection, didn't get the Shapeshifter, and now I'm in the Sin Eater collection right there, and those are my Hanalees. I'm going to be riding this guy a lot next year too. For those days I want camber, like full camber, just meat and potatoes snowboard. Yeah, the cock knobs at Never Summer. Yeah, it's a good one, Rob. No, that bridge has pretty much burned. Don't think I will see Never Summer products ever again, which is funny because Sims sends me stuff and that's made there. So shout out to Mark Vitelli over at Sims, and their boards are awesome. Actually got a great review of the new Tom Sims Pro model coming out. That is by far one of the best carving boards I've ever fucking been on. Yes, I did ride the new IPP Odessa. It's the innards basically of a Hanale with more girth and then like a chopped off nose and tail. Camber dominant. It wasn't the board for me. I'm definitely a Hanale type of guy. Especially this one back here is a sample, and so this one for some reason came out 20% softer than what's going to be out on the market. So what's going to be out on the market will be more like this one. But yeah, so Odessa, basically that big-footed guy that wants a twin with camber. It's got that chopped off tail. You can really press with it. Super snappy, holds a wicked edge. It's one of those boards that you can really drive, do whatever you need. So yeah, IPP, possibly one of my favorite new brands to come out in the last 5 years. I think if you're sleeping on it, you need to be checking these guys out. They're doing a lot of cool things, and this is a board that you're not going to see a lot of people have on the mountains, or just even a brand in general. You're not going to see a lot of people, but when other people know it, I get stopped all the time from people from the Midwest that are like, oh my God, you have an IPP and you're in Colorado. And I was like, yeah, I bought one. That's how it goes. So yeah, IPP, fucking phenomenal. Made at the Capita mothership, which is an amazing factory. Wrote a lot of brands out of there. So Niche, Dinosaurs, Will Die, Capita. I think the new Batallion and Lobster boards are going to be made there, but the samples came out of SWS in Dubai. But yeah, it's just one of those factories making great product with solid European fucking mastery of the craft behind them, you know, generational labor, shit like that. So just making a great quality product. And yeah, I'm going to plug the Patreon again, so I'll put a link to that down in the description. Basically, that helps you guys fund us to make the content that you guys like. Working on something bigger right now, possibly like 45 minutes to an hour long kind of show where I discuss multiple topics. We have segments and stuff. Just really working on that right now, kind of scripting that out, see where we're going to take it. Big Mountain Rider with the wide board. I assume you're talking about the volume shift boards like the K2 Cool Bean, the Marhar Lumberjack, Ride Warpig, stuff like that. Yeah, it's definitely a fad right now in snowboarding, and the way that those are going to go. Okay, yeah. Okay, good. We're on the same page. But basically, yeah, so those boards, it's kind of a fad right now, but they're super fun to ride. The big thing is if you look at just boards in general, what used to be a mid-wide is now a normal width board. What's considered a mid-wide is actually a wide, and then what's a wide now is a super wide. And there's really nothing wrong with that because the side cut theories have compensated for waist widths and everything like that. So I'm a 10 boot, and so I can go wide, regular, I can get away with just about anything on there. It's not a bad thing. You can still rip turns. You're not going to have leverage problems unless you're a super tiny foot. So Kevin that does the binding reviews for us is an 8. He has some issues when he gets on the lumberjack. He wishes there was just a smaller one with a slightly narrower waist. I mean, that thing is almost like a 27 in the middle. Just because he can't dig in as well. It really comes down to the board, though. Every brand's got a different side cut theory and a different volume shift theory, and you see that. I rode a lot of volume shift boards, stuff from brands like Yes, Marhar, K2, Ride, and other stuff like Snowfisk, which is a new one that we rode. Weston was another new brand that we rode with the volume shift. And each brand kind of has their own take on it. And so it's not a universal thing with this volume shift. It's not like, oh, it's going to ride 6 centimeters because brand X's board rides 6 centimeters shorter. It's you pretty much just have to look at them and read the reviews, or if you get a chance, definitely go out and demo them. I've got a lot of people asking me questions about if they can make them into quiver of one type of boards. Well, yeah, I think you can with certain boards like the Lumberjack or the War Pig is a great example of that. That board is super versatile. The new 87 and the Simple Pleasures from K2, they both kind of overlap each other. One's got traditional camber, one doesn't. Those are kind of boards you could ride as a quiver of one with a downsize. To give credit where it's due, I think Burton was ahead of the game when they came out with the Nug technology, and they oversaturated their marketing with the Nug story, and I think it just turned people off. And now we're coming back around going, wait, this does fucking work. So we need to look at it. We need to figure out what's going on with what. Kind of just get it there. But yeah, it's a fad. It's like it's like weird tip shapes and boards. I mean, in 3, 4 years, 5 years, we'll see popsicle sticks. I mean, 10 years ago, camber was pretty much dead. You look at it from the Skate Banana and the Worldwide Weapon and how that went, and now we're coming back around to traditional camber and camber 2.0, as I call it, where everyone's basically renamed traditional camber, so it sounds great in a marketing story, but it's traditional camber. So yeah, we got that going on right now for us in snowboarding. Everything's cyclical. I mean, fuck, Burton brought step-ins back. I mean, which I'm going to be riding those this fall. Kevin and I are going to do a whole video on them. Part of the problem is I have really fucked up feet, and I do not want to ride their boots because they fucking suck. They do not fit my feet at all. Not that the boots themselves suck. Their fit sucks for my foot. My feet look like they were hit with a sledgehammer repeatedly. So got to kind of figure out some workarounds with that, whether I'm taking my liners and insoles from my boots and putting it into the Burton shells or what. But Kevin and I will be doing a full video on Burton step-on, strap-on, whatever. Yeah, who cares? Fucking step-ins are back. Can't believe this shit. So yeah, that's a weird thing. Oh, hate montage of frickin' riding the step-on. We'll see what Burton's marketing department will allow me. I know that in the past, anyone that wanted to ride step-on for product review purposes had to be accompanied by someone from the company to make sure they could explain everything so everything was kosher. So we'll see how much hate I'm actually allowed to spew on that. The other question about BOA, yes or no. I'm a huge BOA guy. I've been riding BOAs since Generation 3 of BOA. I think now they're on Generation 12 or 13. The big thing is if the boot fits, that's all that matters. I like BOA because I'm fucking lazy. I ride 200 days a year. I want my boots tight, and I know they loosen during the day, and then I crank them a little tighter. basically, I also ride the K2 Thraxis, which is the second stiffest boot K2 makes, and it's not stiff enough for me. BOA is great on stiff boots. You can just crank them down tighter. I could never get laces tight, so yeah. I did ride the Burton working stiff, and oh my god, that board is fucking phenomenal. Holy shit, that thing is amazing. I can't wait to drop the review for you guys on that. When it comes to Sidecuts, basically, I want a board that engages quickly and I can lay a 90-degree turn if I need to, but I can be lazy at the same time. It's one of those things where when I go out and I want to carve, I want to know that I can rip a hard, aggressive carve, or I can be lazy and laid back. I need something that's kind of just, it lets me Euro carve. It doesn't force me to have to carve every time I turn. That's kind of my thing when I'm out there. When it comes to big mountain riding, I honestly don't give a fuck about the goddamn side cut, because if I'm riding big mountain, I'm going after powder. I'm not riding it if it's chundery and shitty out there. So, which I would hope most people would be, but I know there's people that for some reason like to go to the top of the mountain in April when there's no snow and it's been baking in the sun for 3 weeks. I have no clue why you people are gluttons for punishment, but that's all on you, and you know that. But my favorite side cut of all time was actually on the 156.5 Atomic Hatchet. It was a tri-radial side cut. It was 7.8, 7.6, 7.8 on it. Loved that side cut. I could do so much with it. It was versatile enough to rail turns with the flex pattern of the board, but it was also mellow enough that I didn't have to carve every time I wanted to. So yeah, basically, cat's out the bag. I love ski companies. Oops, guess I'm not core enough. Anyone else got any questions? Anyone? Bueller? This guy, I'll answer him for you. This guy right here. Good old John Cenacorn. So, yeah. Basically, side cuts. Everyone's got something different going on. As long as they're not hectoradial bullshit. I didn't get to ride the dump truck, unfortunately. I like the concept of it. I didn't get Burton until the very end of the season, and I got a lot of powder boards from him, and that was one that they were trying to get me, but I wasn't able to, and I just got lucky at the end of the season, because Colorado, we kind of got skunked, and then, basically we got skunked, and then out of nowhere, I think I got like 2 weeks of just fresh pow, and I was able to bang out like almost every powder board in the spring. It was great. I mean, there was just days where it was dumping like a foot a day over and over again. Yeah, you did hear me on the Not Snowboarding podcast. That's Nate Mousson and AJ Lawson's podcast. Great podcast. I'm glad that Nate is bringing it back now that he moved to California. Everyone should definitely be checking out the Not Snowboarding podcast. It's the NPR of snowboarding. It's great. It's like no bullshit. Like, it's what snowboarding journalism should be. I definitely just have a lot of opinions and hate everything. So, yeah. I didn't get the Deep Thinker. I got the Free Thinker, unfortunately. That was another one that I wasn't able to get on. Kevin and I are actually sitting down next week to discuss how we're going to do product reviews in the future, rather than do a mad scramble from the end of January to like the middle of May. We're thinking of just kind of switching it up, start doing product reviews a couple of weeks through the season, and just get the new stuff as it transitions over. So probably November, because I want to get my legs back under me in October when the basin opens. So November, right after the Loveland industry demo, I'm going to pick up some boards from Burton's, K2, Ride, Rome, just different companies that I didn't get their full lineup, and start reviewing them. So the Deep Thinker is on that list, as well as the dump truck from Burton. There's something else on there. The Kilroy Process. I wasn't able to get on that either. Dude, the Skeleton Key kicks ass. You should just keep riding it. That board's fucking rad as shit, man. You should be happy you're on a board that doesn't suck. I love that thing. That was another great board. So, yeah. basically, I don't think it's a quiver of one type of board, but you might be proving me wrong on that. It's a great board for ripping carves if you're on a groomer, but it's float and pow. I got that out. God, it was probably like an 18-inch day at the basin, and I got that into some just blower deep pow, and freaking just sent it off a bunch of little cliffs and shit, and just that board was fun. It's got super good float in it and everything like that. Better question for you guys: do you want us to make these live streams a regular thing? That's something I would like to know, is if you think we could grow this, because this is obviously my first time, so it's awkward as shit, but you know, whatever, it happens. God, everyone's asking me powder board questions. So everyone got powder on the mind. I know I want to ride POW. Yeah, right. Yeah, pure luck. I know. I'm going to do a little bit better next time with announcing that we're doing a live stream. I'm going to kind of try to figure out a regular time I can do it. Hey, it's 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. I'm on. I could probably move them back to like 8 p.m. Mountain Standard from here on out. So, yeah, definitely. Everyone laugh at Rob. Oh no, I'm gonna get fired from my job. Well, you're PST, I'm PTSD, so it's all good. Don't worry about it. Oh wait, no, I'm MST, not post-traumatic stress disorder. That's something else I suffer from. But that's beside the point. Yeah, so yes, Pacific, I know. Don't worry. I've been to the Pacific once. It was a very, very dirty ocean. Paul, yes. Okay, so Kevin and I have been trying to figure out how we're going to test vintage boards as kind of a parody. And I kind of come up with this idea that, and it involves Marcus too, where I'm going to put a budget together. We're going to the second-hand store, and we're going to do like the $10, $20, $50 board challenge, where we go and we have to buy a board, and we only have X number of dollars to spend, and then we're going to go to Copper or A Basin and test them out and film them. It's something I'm still in the early stages of planning, because obviously that's going to be a mid-season type release type thing. It might be like a one-off video that we do. It might be a series. I'm not sure. Like, I've got all these ideas for series, but the big thing is funding and finding time and everything like that. So I think it's something that you guys would find hilarious. I know that I would find it absolutely hilarious to like be riding a bunch of shit old boards with shit ass bindings, because I would probably have a fit of rage and just slam them into a tree or something, just freaking out because they suck so much. So yeah, that is definitely something that we are considering doing, along with a cooking show, but that's a whole other topic for another time. T-shirts will be coming out actually, so right now I've got stuff in the works. I've got to order some more samples just to make sure they're good enough quality. Once they are, I will have a line of t-shirts, and I'm going to try to add a new shirt every month for you guys so that you can do it. I'm trying to make sure I can keep the costs down right now. I had the cost down, so it was going to be like under $20 a shirt, and then something happened with the company I was working with, and the costs have gone up, so I got to figure out how to work that back down so you guys can get a better deal, because I just don't think it's fair to charge $25 for a fucking t-shirt plus shipping on top of that. That's just not conducive to what I believe in. It's a t-shirt. It's utilitarian. You're supporting me. I'm supporting you guys by giving you content. It's not... Who the fuck pays $25 for a goddamn t-shirt? Like, this t-shirt, I got this for free, but that's what snowboarding is. People just give me free t-shirts. I have like 10 drawers of black t-shirts. So yeah, so I'm bringing, right now I've got the OG logo. So this one right there, that'll be on a shirt, and I brought back Slayer font on a shirt too, which we haven't had those in probably 4 or 5 years. So going to get those out to you guys as well. Hopefully I'll get the samples in the next week or two, and then once that's going, I'll have the whole thing up. What the hell are you doing up at 2:30 in the morning? Shouldn't you be at the club, fucking bitches? Jesus, Paul. Why are you on a live stream, you nerd? Get down to the bar and go bang some bitches. That's what you do at 2:30 in the morning in Austria. That's what I've been told. I don't know. I've never been. I'm going to try to go to Japan this year. I'm going to be huge over there. Literally. I'm going to be like a foot taller than everyone. So, yeah. Anyways, anyone else got any gear questions that they want answered? Anyone? Bueller? This guy will answer them. Oh, man. This is weird. I don't know. Is this the future? Is this like what I'm going to be doing? Ooh, ride. Okay, so like, not like. The Timeless got a little revamp to it, mainly in the construction methods. It's not quite the aluminum monster. That's a great board. Warpig. Can't say enough great things about the Warpig. I know the review probably leads people to believe that like I'm pushing other volume shift boards, but I love the Warpig. That's a great board. Fuck the Machete GT. That thing can suck a fart out of my ass. If anyone has read the product description for the Machete GT, it pretty much just shits on me the whole time. It's great. I love Big Jim at Ride and their marketing department for doing that. I figure if I keep shitting on it, they'll pull that piece of crap out of the line. The regular Machete is actually a better board than the Machete GT. It's just more versatile. It's got a better flex to it, better camber profile. Berserker's always a good choice for like that big mountain freestyle freeride like Blavel. Just anyone that's riding the Northwest, heavier wet snow. Harnessing my inner Rick Sanchez. I'm not drunk, I swear. Well, maybe I am. I don't know. Yeah, so Berserker. Alter Ego, I'm stoked that they're keeping that board in the line. That's just another board that even though it's not an everyday driver, it's a quiver board. I think the concept is amazing with how you can unclip that tail, get that going, whatnot. Ride boots, they're solid. So well, the Warpig didn't change. So if you read the 2017 review that's on the website, it's pretty much gonna be. I'll just be in a video making lots of references to Warpig Wednesday, which is a ski town drinking holiday every Wednesday. Ooh, benches out of old boards. Yeah, I could probably do that. My friend Joe Mackey is super into construction and building shit like that, and he's got all the cool toys. So I don't have power tools because I live in a condo in downtown Breckenridge. I have no place to have a workshop, but God, I wish I did because I would have a fucking flamethrower. I would just set snowboards on fire left and right. Yes, I got on High Tide this year. I got to ride 4 models from them. Those boards are burly and awesome. They're really like minimal camber, 3 millimeters of camber. I rode the Grease Gun, the Draft Dodger, the Powd Air, and the Hippie Slasher. And those boards were super interesting to ride. Great construction coming out of Pemberton, British Columbia. Akasha, main guy that designs everything, great concepts behind all his boards. I really wish I could have got on that asymmetrical swallowtail, so there's always next year. Those boards, though, I mean, for Colorado conditions and our snow, they were a little overkill. I really wish I was up in the Northwest again at Stevens Pass, just testing them there in heavier snow. Those boards, you get the pop from the minimal camber, but it's not so much that you can feel it fighting you when you're riding deep pow on them. More Rick Sanchez. Shout out to Rick and Morty. But yeah, those boards are super phenomenal. I didn't get on Franco, and I probably never will because, frankly, Franco, the dude that owns the brand, is a dickhead. He's kind of an asshole. So I just don't have time to deal with prima donna bitches like that. Trying to get on some Karua. I've been talking to Nicholas Wolkin. We've been trying to get something. It's been tough because for some reason he was under the impression that I was just going to keep the boards after he sent them to me, and so had a long chat with him about that. So gonna try to do that because Evo is selling them now, and we've got an Evo down in Denver, and I know some people that work there, so I'm hoping I can just snag a demo from them or have one of them bring it up to the mountains, or I don't know, maybe talk to TJ from Board Archive because he works down there, and I know he's moving up here, so I'm hoping he's still got some connections or something, and he's gonna get some to test. So if he tests them, then I can test them, and it'll just be like this cohesive thing going on. But yeah, so I got on those. I got on Snowfisk, which is a little company out of Utah, like backfoot camber, so it's all like a setback camber. Rode one of the biggest boards I rode in a while. Is a 68 Swallowtail, super nimble, actually really soft. It was softer than their Baby Belly, which was their 148 volume shifted pow board, and then there's the Tuna Belly, it's the Tuna Belly, which is like their middle of the road, like it was a 156, I believe. Yeah, so I got on those. Those boards were definitely different. I would like to get on an offshore snowboard shape. I didn't get on any United shapes, but Nate Giska, the rep, lives down the street from me. So I'm hoping at the start of the season or something I can talk to him, maybe pick up like 2 or 3 of shapes from them, get out and ride those, see how those are. Trying to get on some Gentum sticks too. That one's a little tougher, language barrier and distribution. Did get on the Moss Snow Sticks, which was actually the original brand that gave Gentum its start. So Taro Tamai, the guy that started Gentum, was a rider for Moss, and then he left. But Moss has been making snow surfboards since 1971. I got on 5 of their boards, so you'll see those reviews coming out too. Those boards were just interesting. It was like weird to be riding a Swallowtail, but for carving, and then still being able to ride POW with it too, obviously. So the new Batallion stuff is superb quality in it. They've added a different TBT to it, or 3BT. They have that sidekick technology up in the tips, so it's really spooned out. I did not get on the Goliath. Oh, did I get on the Goliath? I did get on the Goliath. So, sorry, I have to think about that when I'm going through like 240 boards. But yeah, better quality, better construction. That they kind of like. It's like they. I actually bought one of the very first Batallions in the U.S. from the rep when I lived at Stevens Pass, and it was a Goliath, I think. God, it's been like 12 years, so I can't quite remember. But you can see the progression of the TBT or 3BT or whatever the fuck they're calling it, and how it's mellowed out a little bit, and it's not like as aggressive of a scoop, like not as much like when you're rolling edge to edge, you don't notice it being like you have to really leverage over. Some of the first, I think it was like generations 1 through 3, if you would go sideways at high speeds, like let's say you're mobbing straight and then you go 90 just power slide, you could feel it gripping and being like jerky. You don't feel that anymore. I will say this, the Batallion Carver, which is basically a border cross board, Kevin and I rode that thing and couldn't fucking believe how well you can rail an edge on that thing. That was a board you could Eurocarve without even trying. I never had to aggressively drive the board to get it on edge, and then when I did aggressively drive it, it was crazy how much that thing would rip a turn and everything. So it's one of those things where they've got some really good stuff coming out. Same thing with Lobster, which is just basically softer versions of everything they have in the Batallion line. I did only get 4 boards from them this year. They are a harder board company to just get stuff from. They don't make a lot of samples, and the rep here doesn't order samples. He basically just has the national fleet, so he gets them, and then they go back to corporate, which is up in Seattle now. But yeah, the boards are going to be made, I believe, at Mothership The samples were made at SWS, which is the Dubai factory. Yes, I did ride the standard. Had a good day on that thing. Really tested it out. It's better than I remember it from the last time I rode it. So it's one of those boards where it's like I gotta kind of test it. You know, I had to like put it through its paces, really see how versatile it is. But it was fun. Wouldn't be a daily pick. Probably wouldn't be a quiver pick for me personally. But I know who that board is intended for. Which, yes, has a bunch of cool stuff coming out. The new Libre too. Yeah, no worries, bud. I'm here to reply where I can. But yeah, yes, has a bunch of cool stuff. The new Libre is kind of one of those boards where it's like freestyle free ride, all mountain-ish, and it's just a deck that you can ride around, do stuff with. I really like the way that thing rode. And then just so everyone knows, Jones this year tweaked their core profiling on a lot of their higher end stuff. So like the Ultra series, so the Ultra Twin, the Ultra Flagship, shit like that. They fixed that core profiling between the feet, so there's a little more torsional give to the boards too. I don't think a lot of people are actually going to notice that, but unless they've ridden the older ones. But for anyone that's coming into it, it's like you're going to notice that it's easier to engage between the feet. So that's kind of what's going on with like Jones, Nidecker. Oh, and another thing, I actually talked to the Slash rep this past weekend. Gigi will have boards this year in a very limited run. Slash is not dead. They're kind of on life support. They're basically like your great-grandfather in a coma. Someone might pull the plug at any given moment, but not dead. So got that going on. So industry rumors there for you. So you can hear it here first. Celtech is pretty much out of business. Kevin and I were going to do a podcast on that, but I'll just drop that. Manufacturing had some issues, and they're going to scramble around and see what they can do. But for the most part, product's probably not shipping, and Celtech might be dead. Yeah, cat's out the bag. Ooh, DIY board episode. Oh, man. I would love to do a DIY episode and maybe get Powder Jets involved in that too. I know I could get one from Yes. I'm not sure about getting one from Mervin. I would have to talk to my contacts over there. That's kind of a iffy subject, but if I could do a do-it-yourself episode, ideally my goal would be like me and Kevin and a whole shitload of power tools, or even better, me and Marcus, because for some reason, when he and I get a hold of Sharpies, we draw really offensive things on things. So drawing offensive shapes and then cutting them. Plus, he's black, and I don't think he even knows how to use a hammer. So that could be really, really funny. That might be another thing that we try to do. Ooh, yeah, Yes Optimistic. So the Yes Optimistic, that board rips a turn. It's like torsionally stiffer between the feet than most of those volume shift boards. It's not like a drastic volume shift. It's a mild volume shift. So you're not like, oh, I'm gonna shrink down like 12 centimeters. You're like, oh, I'm gonna shrink down like 4, 6. And because of that torsional stiffness, when you get it on edge, you can really hammer it over, lay those turns, kind of just drive the board the way you want to. It's it's a little more versatile, I think, than the Yes marketing leads on to believe. I really like that board. It did get an award from us last year. So, yeah, I'm always optimistic about the Optimistic. It's just a solid fucking deck. It's one of those boards that I think if you can find one, buy one. I mean, it sold out last year, so that ought to tell you how good it was. I mean, I think all you can find now are the random big sizes, which most people don't want. They want like that 50, I think it was a 54, if I remember off the top of my head. So, fuck yeah, that was a crazy board to ride for sure. There's a few other ones in that category like that too. I'm trying to think what else is out there. You guys are stumping me here, fuckers. Yes, fuck Vale. I'm still banned for life, and I'm okay with that. Doesn't matter. KSL, which is partnered with Aspen, if you pay attention to that, is buying up a ton of resorts. You're not going to see the full benefit of that this year, but next year, I think they're going to offer a pass to beat the Epic Pass, which at this point, if they could get Steamboat Winter Park, Aspen, God, they got a bunch of Tahoe resorts, some on the east, I would probably pick that pass up just because I think it would be one of those passes that's really versatile that you can take everywhere. I mean, this year, I don't think I'm personally going to get a benefit from it. I mean, Aspen's 4 hours from me. Steamboat's about 2. Winter Park, I don't go there because it sucks. And anyone that's a fan of Winter Park can blow me. Ah, shit, Rob got fired. Ooh, tow ropes. Yeah, the last time I rode a tow rope was Stevens Pass, and it's like you come down the mountain and then you grab this rope tow, and it serves no purpose other than to pull you to the lodge. I used to break that thing all the time. Evidently, you can't ride it like you're wakeboarding. So, yeah, rope tows. If your gloves are blowing out, actually, I would say check out some of the leather gloves from Hobo Headwear. Those guys make a thicker leather glove. Yeah, I know that's all you got in the Midwest. I think I saw a chairlift once in the Midwest. I don't think anyone uses it, but yeah, rope tows. If your gloves are blowing out, basically thick leather is the only thing that I could do, or use your bare hand until it gets really calloused, and then you have no feeling and you can't close your hands more than just grab the rope, and that's it. You'll never be able to jerk off again, but who cares? So yeah. But the Hobo gloves, those leather ones, or those Kinko gloves, anything like that with that leather palm, they're not going to get you any style points really, but they're not going to blow out like a regular mitt would. So you got that going for you. That's what I would recommend at least. But yeah. Anyone else got any questions before I dip out of here? Yeah, no worries, man. Hopefully we can do this again. I think I am going to push these back later on Friday, maybe shoot for like an 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or Mountain Standard Time. Just something for you guys. It's really what it is. I want to do one of these right after I drop all the product review videos for the snowboards. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to get inundated with a shit ton of questions, especially with 240-something videos dropping. So definitely want to do that for you. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you want to support us, I'll have a link to the Patreon below after this video, or maybe you found us on Patreon. We got that going on. I'll keep you updated on when the shirts are coming out, but right now, after this, going to eat some dinner, and then I got to get back to filming those product review videos you guys want. Also, next Thursday, maybe Friday, probably Thursday, I'll have more binding reviews from Kevin up on the website. So right now you got about 20 of them to look at. Should have about another 20 going up on there for you. So thanks again, guys, and good night.